शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्ज सम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പീരേണ്ട തോറു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we're reviewing 70 and 71. Vijaya, can you and Matangi, can you do one each?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do 70.
Okay.
Dashakam 70. इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लभाः.
Sorry, கொஞ்சம் tune correct. इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः
इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमितवल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पूरम् अम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने समेत्य भवता समं निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद व्रजपम् उग्रनागस्तदा समुमुखम् अतलोकमुखै अभिहतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुच्यते भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति तैः तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुद्गम्य पस्पर्शतम् तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुद्गम्य पस्पर्शतं भवौ स च निजां तनु समुत्साद्य वैद्यादरीम्.
The first line, first word, samunmukam atolmukhair abhihatepi.
समुन्मुखम्
Atolmukhair.
मुखैर अभितेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात्.
Yeah.
सुदर्शनधर प्रभो ननु सुदर्शनाख्योऽस्म्यहं मुनि न क्वचित् पाहसं तैह मां यदुर्वाहसं भवत्पदसमर्पणात् अमलातां गतोऽस्मीत्यसौ स्तुवन् निजपदं ययौ व्रजपदं च गोपा मुधा कदापि खलु सीरीणा विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारदनधानुघसस् किल शङ्खचूडो बलाः अतिद्रुतम् मुक्तनारी जनं रुरोजित शिरोमणि हलभृते च तस्या ददाः दिनेषु च सुहृजनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभव मनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतं भवन्त अमरीदृशाम् अमृतपारानदायिनं विचिन्त्य किमु नालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः.
The first line, and where it says suhrujanaihi, you put a is to join. Suhrujanais.
Yeah.
And then the third line, a very small correction, the parana, amrita parana dayinam. Okay.
Yeah. भोजराजभृतकस्तव कश्चित् दृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठराकृति अपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी.
Vijay, small kashta dushta. Okay, not drishta.
Oh.
Adukapram, after that, pata drishtir. That is drishti. First is dushta. Okay.
Kashta dushta pata drishtir
Arishta. Yeah.
Arishtah. तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृक्षरूपी शाश्वरोत जगति धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रददानः पंक्तिमाशु परिधूर्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप्भवन्तम्.
First word is it's ik, right? Shakvarota.
Okay. Shakvarota. Jagati Dritihara.
The third line, parigurnya. I think you said dhurnya. It's gha sound.
Okay.
Parigurnya.
Parighur.
Yeah.
Pashuna. Okay. Tunga Shrunga Mukha Ashvabhiyantam Sangrahaya Sadhabiyam Tam Bhadrarupamapi Daityamabhadram Mardayanamadaya Suralokam Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrisha Ghadat Sustirajani Vrikshatir Vrikshasatir Urvyam
Brisha Stitir Urvyam.
Vrishastitir Urvyam Vardate cha Vrishachetasi Bhuyan Moda itya Binutosi Suraistavam Aukshakani Paridhavata Dhuram Vikshayatam Ayami Hokshavi Bedi Idyamadahasitai saha gopaihi gehaгаставамавата puresha.
And the first second line there, Viksh sound, not a full ksha. You said Vikshaya, it's Vikshya.
Vikshyata.
Yeah.
Vikshatam. Okay.
Yeah.
Vikshatam. Ayamito.
Okay, good.
Ayami hokshavi bedi.
Om Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Etnesu sarveshu vapi navakeshi keshi sabuje situr ita bandhuhu tam sindhu javapi iti vimatva sampraptavan sindhu javaji rupaha gandharvatamesha gatopi rukshay nadai samudvejita sarvalokaha Pavadvilokavadikopavati pramardhya prapah punarapapatvam
Patatvam, last word.
patatvam takshaya pitangkarestava takshya eshaha shikshepa vaksho bhuvi nama padam brukov pada katham nishamya svenapi shakyam taditiva mohat pravanchayan nasya kuran chalam drak amum cha shikshepita dura dhuram sammurcha chitopi hyati murchitena krodashtamana kaditum adrudastvam.
And the last, sorry, I think in the last one, Krodhoshmana.
Krodoshmana
Khaditum. Yeah, correct.
Khaditum adrudastvam tvam vaha dande kritati jishcha vaha dandam nyadas tasya mukhe tadanim tatvriddhiruddash vasano gata suhu sapti bhavan napyayam aikyam agat alamba matrena pashos suranam prasadake nutna ivashva mede krite tvaya harshavashat surendraha tvam tushtu vukh keshava namadeyam.
I think in the second line, Prasadake.
Prasadake.
Yeah,
Prasadake.
And then the fourth line on this Tvam Tushtu.
Tvam tushtu vukh. Okay.
Yeah.
Kamsayate सौरिसुतत्वम् उक्त्वा तं तद्व दुःखं
Dotkam.
दोत्कं प्रतिरुद्य वाचा प्राप्तेन केशिक शपानावसाने श्रीनारदेन त्वम् अभिष्टुतु भूः कदापि गोपैः सह काननान्ते निलायन क्रीडनलोलुपं त्वं मायात्मजः प्राप दुरान्तमायो व्योमाभिदो व्योमचरोपरोडी
And the second line end again twam. Okay, you said twam anga.
त्वां
Lolupam twam. Yeah.
सचोरपालय इत्तवल्लवेषु चोरायितो गोपशिशून् पशुंश्च गुहासु कृत्वा पिदते शिलाभिः त्वय्या च बुद्ध्वा परिमार्दितोऽभूत् एवं विदैश्च अद्भुतकेलिभेदैः आनन्दमूर्च्छाम् अतुलां व्रजस्य पदे पदे नूतनयन्न सीमान् परात्मरूपिन् पवनेश पायाः
Parabrahmane Namaha. Very good. All right. We'll continue with do 72 today. So Vasanta Garu, you can be a student. Then Shanti, you can be a student first. So 72 is Akrurasya Gokula Yatra Varnanam. So the journey that Akrura makes to Gokulam or Vrindavan, right? Stanza 1. Kamsotanaradagira Brajavasinam Twam Akarnyadhirna Hridaya Sahigandineyam Ahuya Karmukamakachalato Bhavantam Anetum Ena Mahinod Ahinatashayin. So we saw last time how Narada had met with Kamsa and kind of disclosed everything, right? So the reason for that, and then we also saw how Narada came and also told Krishna, right, what all is going to happen. So because the way we have to think of all these incarnations when it's supposed to happen is the Lord has already planned it like a director of a movie. He already has a script of what is going to be happening. It's just that we don't know what the script is, right? So he's already planned the script, and there's only very few people who know what the script is. And Narada is always one person who knows what the script is going to be. So that's why when you look at Prahlada Charitram, or you look at Dhruva Charitram, or you look at Krishna Avataram, at every point, Narada is able to come at the right point and he's able to direct the story, right? So the story is going in a particular way. Now Kamsa has to call Krishna, right? Somebody has to go tell Kamsa that Krishna is that the person is Vasudeva's son. So that's where Narada is coming, and then he's just making sure the script is going according to plan. So anyway, so as Kamsa then tells, Narada tells Krishna that this, Kamsa, that Krishna and Balarama are the sons of Vasudeva Devaki, who are sitting with Nandagopa and Yashoda. So they are the ones who are going to kill you. So now Kamsa has to make plans. So first step Kamsa does is he calls on this Akrura, and we'll see who Akrura is in the next stanza. So he calls Akrura and says, you are one of the foremost of the Yadavas. I want you to go to Vrindavan. You go to Vrindavan and you bring Krishna, Balarama, then Nanda Gopa, all of their friends, all the key Gopas. You bring all of them here. Tell that there is going to be a bow festival that I'm going to be organizing, which is anyway it was already scheduled. So you bring them in the context of the bow festival and tell them to come and pay the taxes. All of that stuff can all happen at that time. He first tells that to Akrura. Then he turns to Chanura and Mushtika, who are his two wrestlers, and says, as part of this bow ceremony, we're going to be having a wrestling match. And in this wrestling match, Krishna and Balarama are going to be fighting with you, and I want you to make sure both of them are killed. That's step number 2. Then, as a precaution, he then calls on his one of his Mahut, who has this elephant called as Kuvalaya Pida, who which you saw in the 75th Dashakam, and tells him, make sure that Krishna and Balarama don't even enter the arena. So even before they come, you're going to make sure that the elephant is going to trample them and kill both of them. So he kind of makes all these elaborate plans, and he decides that once Krishna and Balarama are killed, next he's going to go after Vasudeva, then his own father Ugrasena. He's going to take care of all of them because he realized that all of them have been in the plot to get rid of him, which he's been caught now, right? So Kamsota Narada Gira Braja Vasinam Twam, put a im and then a comma. Next line, Makarnya becomes Akarnya. Akarnya Dirna Hridayaha, put a is Hridayas Sahi Gandhineyam. Gandhineyam is referring to the son of Gandhini, which is Akrura here. Ahuya Karmuka Makach Chalato Bhavantam, put a im, comma, Bhavantam. Next line, Manetu becomes Anetum. So the next word, I'm going to break it into like 4 or 5 words. Anetum Enam Ahinod Ahinatha Shayin, if you want to break it. Anetum Enam Ahinod Ahinatha Shayin. Kamsotanaradagira Brajavasinam Twam Akarnyadirna Hridaya Sahi Gandhineyam Ahuya Karmukamakachalato Bhavantam Anetumena Mahinodahinatha Shayin.
कंसोऽथ व्रजवासिनं त्वाम् आकर्ण्यदीर्णहृदयः स हि गान्धिनेयम् आहूय कार्मुकमखच्चलतो भवन्तम् आनेतुमेन महिनो दहिनाथ शायिन् कंसोऽथ व्रजवासिनं त्वाम् आकर्ण्यदीर्णहृदयः स हि गान्धिनेयम् आहूय कार्मुकमखच्चलतो भवन्तम् आनेतुमेन महिनो दहिनाथ शायिन्
कंसोदनारदगिरा व्रजवासिनं त्वाम् आगर्ण्यदीर्णहृदयः स हि गान्धिनेयम् आहूय कार्मुकमगच्छलतो भवन्तम् आनेतुमेनम् अहिनोद् अहिनादसायिन् कंसोदनारदगिरा व्रजवासिनं त्वाम् आकर्ण्यदीर्णहृदयः स हि गान्धिनेयम् आहूय कार्मुकमगच्छलतो भवन्तम् आनेदुयेनं महिनोद् अहिनादसायिन्.
अक्रूरयेश भवदङ्घ्रि परश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षममनाः क्षितिपालभीत्या तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुमुद्यतस्त्वाम् आनन्दभारमतिभूरितरं भभार. So this Akrura, who he is he marries the one of the sisters of Devaki and Kamsa called Ugraseni because she's the daughter of Ugrasena. So he's kind of like Krishna's uncle, right? And Akrura is one of those very few people who realize the greatness of Krishna. So now the timing wise, right? So Kamsa is communicating this to Akrura on an Ekadashi day. So it's on the 11th, right? On the 11th fortnight of the thing. So on the Ekadashi day, Kamsa is communicating this to Akrura. On Dwadashi morning, Akrura ends up going to Vrindavan. And that's the reason I'm saying this is some of the sequence in which it comes, right? So the Dwadashi was also the day when Narada met with Krishna in the previous Dasakam, and where the Vyomasura episode also happened in the previous Dasakam. That's actually happening on Dwadashi day. And then Akrura stays that night at Vrindavan. And then on Trayodashi day, Krishna and Akrura all come back to Mathura, and Chaturdashi day is when the bow festival is happening. That's a kind of sequence of how these events are going to be happening. So anyway, so Akrura, for a long time, he's been wanting to see Krishna. But, because he realized that, like we said, very few people realize that when an avataram is happening, and Akrura is one of those few who had a sense that this is not an ordinary person who is there, and he's been always wanting to see Krishna. But all of them are afraid of Kamsa because, first of all, he's afraid what will Kamsa think if he goes and meets this person, and all those details, right? So anyway, Akrura has not had a chance to see Krishna. So now when Kamsa himself is telling Akrura, saying, you go now and you go and bring Krishna and Balarama with me. So Akrura is just extremely elated. He thinks he's so thankful to Kamsa that Kamsa himself is sending Akrura over there. So Akrura Esha Bhavadangri Parashchiraya, comma, Tvad Darshanakshama Manaha. So that Visarga you have to say because Ksha is coming later. So Manaha Kshitipala Bhitya Tasyajnayeva Punar Ikshitum Udyatas. We can break it there. Punar Ikshitum Udyatas Tvam, put a im at the end of that line, comma. Next line, the ma becomes a. Ananda bharamati bhuritaram bhabara. अक्रूर एष भवदङ्घ्रिपरश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षममनाः क्षितिपालभीत्यां तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुमुद्यतस्त्वाम् आनन्दभारमतिभूरितरं बभार.
अक्रूर एष भवदङ्घ्रिपरश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षममनाः क्षितिपालभीत्या तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुमुद्यतस्त्वाम् आनन्दभारमतिभूरितरं बभार. अक्रूर एष भवदङ्घ्रिपरश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षममनाः क्षितिपालभीत्या तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुमुद्यतस्त्वाम् आनन्दभारमतिभूरितरं बभार.
अक्रूर एष भवदङ्घ्रिपरश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षमनाः क्षितिपालभीत्या तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुम् उदयस्त्वाम्
उद्यतस्त्वाम्
आनन्दभारमतिपूरितं बभार.
Ashanti, the second line, Tvad Darshanakshama Manaha. Two mas coming there.
Nakshama manaha. Okay. अक्रूर एष भवदङ्घ्रिपरश्चिराय त्वद्दर्शनाक्षममनाः क्षितिबालभीत्या तस्याज्ञयैव पुनरीक्षितुम् उद्यतस्त्वाम् आनन्दभारमतिभूरितरं बभार.
That's a three. Sohyam ratena sukriti bhavato nivasam gachan manorathaganam stvaidharyamanan aswadayan muhurapaya bhayena daivam samprartayan patina kinchidapi vyajanat. So that night, Akrura spends in Mathura because, like I said, that Ekadashi day, Kamsa is telling Akrura, Dwadashi morning, Akrura is going to be leaving. So he spends that night, and the next day morning, early morning, he's ready, right, to go meet Krishna in Vrindavan. So he gets on his chariot, and then as he's driving, as he's going on, he keeps thinking, like saying, what good deeds have I done? What austerities have I done? What charity, what worship have I done that I am now going to I'm being sent to go and meet Krishna himself, right? He says, for a person like me who's very materialistic, to be able to give it a chance to go meet Krishna and Balarama and bring them over is such a best blessing, right? So anytime, we're going to meet some big celebrity, or we are now being told that you are the person who's going to go bring that celebrity. So we feel very happy, right? So for Akrura going and meeting Krishna and bringing Krishna and Balarama, he felt that kind of a feeling, right? He says, today it's because of Krishna's blessings that Kamsa himself has told me, right? I have to go bring Krishna and Balarama with him. So he's just very happy as he's going along the way, and he's praying that there should be no obstacle, such an opportunity I've got. May everything go fine. So he keeps thinking about it as he's headed to Vrindavan. Soyam rathena sukriti long e bhavato nivasam, comma, gachan manoratha ganams tvai dharyamanan aswadayan muhurapaya bhayena daivam, put a plus, samprartayan patina kinchidapi vyajanat. So the last two lines are together. Sohyam ratena sukriti bhavato nivasam gachan manorathaganam stvaidharyamanan aswadayan muhurapaya bhayena daivam samprartayan patina kinchidapi vyajanat.
सोऽयं रथेन सुकृती भवतो निवासं गच्छन् मनोरथगणां स्त्वयिदार्यमानान् आस्वादयन् मुहुरपाय भयेन दैवं सम्प्रार्थयन् पथि न किञ्चिदपि व्यजानात्. सोऽयं रथेन सुकृती भवतो निवासं गच्छन् मनोरथगणां त्वयि धार्यमाणान् आस्वादयन् मुहुरपाय भयेन दैवं सम्प्रार्थयन् पथि न किञ्चिदपि व्यजानात्
सोऽयं रदेन सुकृती भवतो निवासं गच्छन् मनोरथगणां त्वयि तार्यमाणान् आस्वादयन् मुहुरबाय भयेन दैवं सम्प्रार्थयन् पदि न किञ्चिदपि व्यजानात् सोऽयं रदेन सुहृदी भवतो निवासं गच्छन् मनोरथगणां त्वयि तार्यमाणान् आस्वादयन् मुहुरबाय भयेन दैवं सम्प्रार्थयन् पदि न किञ्चिदपि व्यजानात्.
Stanza 4. Drakshyami vedashatagitagatim pumansam sprakshyami kim svidapi nama parishvajeyam kim vakshyate sakalumam kvanu vikshitasyat ittam ninayasa bhavan mayameva margam. So, like we was talking earlier, right? Anytime we go to meet a celebrity, we want to know, I hope I get a chance to speak to the celebrity at least once. When we go to a concert, we say, I hope to get to shake hands with the singer at least once. So similarly here, Akrura, as he's going, he keeps thinking, I hope I get a chance to meet with Krishna and Balarama because these things have to come with blessings, right? So I hope, everything works out well. I get to meet Krishna and Balarama. Sprakshyami, I hope I'm able to at least touch them once, right? I hope I'm getting that opportunity to go closer to them, touch them. What will Krishna do? Will Krishna actually get a chance to embrace me? Will he do that? Because he's related to Krishna also. So will he embrace me? Then Kim Bakshyate, what is Krishna? What do I think Krishna is going to tell me? What is he going to talk to me? And Kvanu Vikshite, where will Krishna be when I go meet him? So he kind of keeps thinking about Krishna and Balarama all the way during his journey, right, as to how things are going to be. And he even plans it out. He plans it out that, what, when I go there, when my chariot stops, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do full namaskarams to Krishna and Balarama. And then Krishna will then take his hand, he's going to put it on my head, he's going to lift me, and then he's going to embrace me. Then I'm going to get a chance to sit with Krishna and Balarama and have dinner with them. So he keeps thinking about all these things, right? And he also wonders, I hope Krishna is, he's the Supreme Lord. I hope he realizes that I am not evil. So while Kamsa is calling me to bring Krishna and Balarama there to perform an evil act, I hope Krishna realizes that I am not thinking that way. I'm just a messenger here, right? Who's been forced to send, and he's coming only because he's happy. Although he knows what's going to be happening to Krishna and Balarama. Krishna, they've been called there by Kamsa to kill them. He still wants to be the messenger because he can be with Krishna and Balaram, right? So that's what all these thoughts are going through Akrura's mind as is coming there. So Drakshyami Veda Shata Gita Gatim Pumamsam, comma, Sprakshyami Kim Svidapi. So that is Kim Svidapi Nama Parishvajeyam Kim Vakshyate Sa Khalumam Kvanu Vikshitaha. Put is Vikshitas Syat, put a it at the end of that line, comma. Next line you have dittam, becomes ittam. Ittam ninaya sa bhavan mayameva margam. Drakshyami veda shatagita gatim pumamsam sprakshyami kim svidapi nama parishvajeyam kim vakshyate sakhalu mam kvanu vikshitasyat ittam ninaya sa bhavan mayameva margam.
रक्ष्यामि वेदशतगीतगतिं पुमांसं स्प्रक्ष्यामि किं स्विद्वपि नाम परिष्वजेयं किं वक्ष्यते स खलु मां क्वनुवीक्षितः स्यात् इत्थं निनाय स भवन्मयमेव मार्गम् रक्ष्यामि वेदशतगीतगतिं पुमांसं स्प्रक्ष्यामि किं स्विदपि नाम परिष्वजेयम् किं वक्ष्यते स खलु मां क्वनुवीक्षितः स्यात् इत्थं निनाय स भवन्मयमेव मार्गम्
प्रक्ष्यामि वेदसदगीतगतिं पुमांसं स्प्रक्ष्यामि किं स्विदपि नाम परिष्वजेयं किं वक्ष्यते स खलु मां क्वनु वीक्षितः स्यात् इत्थं निनाय च भवन्मयमेव मार्गम्
The last line la vinaya sa bhavan sa.
विनायस भवन्मयेव.
Yep.
Okay. द्रक्ष्यामि वेदसदगीतगतिं पुमांसं स्प्रक्ष्यामि किं स्विदपि नाम परिष्वजेयं किं वक्ष्यते स खलु मां क्वनु वीक्षितः स्यात् इत्थं निनाय स भवन्मयमेव मार्गम्.
That's a fine. Bhuya kramadabhivishan bhavadangriputam vrindavanam haravirinchi surabhivandyam anandamagna iva lagna iva pramohe kim dashantaramavapana pankajaksha. This no, so as he's entering that, when he enters Vrindavan, which is Bhavad Angri Putam, he says, which has been sanctified by the dust from your feet, right? The bottom of your feet touching Vrindavan has really made it a very punya sthalam, has sanctified that place. And this is a place which he says, Hara Birincha Surabi Vandyam. This is a place which even Brahma, Shiva, all the other gods have also come and said it's a great place because of Krishna being there. So anyway, even during Krishna Avataram, Narada anyway came, Brahma came there. Actually, Shiva also comes. It's not in Narayaneeyam, but Shiva also comes there to meet with Krishna when this Krishna Avataram is happening. And all of them come to Vrindavan, right? And even in Bhagavatam, when it talks about later on in Kali Yuga, when Narada is wandering and finding out which is the one place where devotion still exists today, he starts by talking how he starts from the south of India and he keeps going up. And then he says that devotion, bhakti first started in the south of India, but later on it started going less and less as he started going up. And finally, he says Vrindavanam is where it actually got re energized. So anyway, this is because Krishna personally walked there, lived there, right, along with others, because Dwaraka is no longer there, right? So anyway, here, as he comes there, he feels a state of bliss. So he says, what all feeling did he not attain, Krishna, when he came to Vrindavan where you are still there? So Bhuyaha is there, put a ich sound. Bhuyah Kramad Abhivishan, if you want to break it. Bhavadangri Putam, comma. Vrindavanam Hara Birincha Surabhivandyam Ananda Magna Iva Lagna Iva Pramohe, comma. Kim Dashantaram Avapa. If you want to break it, Dashantaram Avapa Na Pankajaksha. भूयः क्रमादभिविशन् भवदङ्घ्रिपूतं वृन्दावनं हरविरिञ्च सुराभिवन्द्यम् आनन्दमग्न इव लग्न इव प्रमोहे किं दशान्तरमवापन पङ्कजाक्ष.
भूयः क्रमादभिविशन् भवदङ्घ्रिपूतं वृन्दावनं हरिविरिञ्च सुराभिवन्द्यम् आनन्दमग्न इव लग्न इव प्रमोहे किं दशान्तरमवापन पङ्कजाक्ष. भूयः क्रमादभिविशन् भवदङ्घ्रिपूतं वृन्दावनं हरविरिञ्च सुराभिवन्द्यम् आनन्दमग्न इव लग्न इव प्रमोहे किं दशान्तरमवापन पङ्कजाक्ष.
भूय क्रमादभिविशन् भवदङ्घ्रिपूतं वृन्दावनं हरविरिञ्जसुराभिवन्द्यम् आनन्दमग्न इव लग्न इव प्रमोहे किं दशान्तरमवापन पङ्कजाक्षः.
There's no visarga there, just pankajaksha only. Last line.
Yeah. पूयः प्रमादभिविशन् भवदङ्घ्रिपूतं वृन्दावनं हरविरिञ्जसुराभिवन्द्यम् आनन्दमग्न इव लग्न इव प्रमोहे किं दशान्तरमवापन पङ्कजाक्ष.
Stanza 6. पश्यन्न वन्दत भवद्विहृतिस्थलानि पांसु स्ववेष्टत भवच्चरणाङ्कितेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरला बिरलाः परात्मन्. So as he was kind of feeling all these things when he approaches Vrindavanam, And then when he comes there and he enters Vrindavan, immediately he jumps out of his chariot and then he says, okay, this is the sand, this is the path where Krishna has walked. So he rolls in there, right? He rolls in there because he's having a state of ecstasy which he's feeling. So he says he has he has hair standing all over his body, he has tears coming through his eyes, and then he says, this is a feeling I cannot describe. So even Bhattaripat says, Kim Brumaya, how do I even explain the feeling that Akrura is going through? Because that's the level of bliss that Akrura was feeling, that he felt like finally he's reached what he's been looking for all these days. And then he rolls on that mud there. And Bhattaripat says, even though there were a lot of devotees of you, Krishna, at that time who existed when Krishna Avataram happened, Akrura definitely was on the topmost of devotees, along with Sudama, Kuchela, and all of them as well. But at that time, Akrura was definitely the topmost of devotees because he was so committed to you and so much he was looking forward to meeting you there. So, Pashyanna Vandata Bhavat Bihriti Sthalani, short e, comma, Pam Susvaveshtata Bhavach Charanankiteshu Kim Brumahe Bahujana hi Tadapi Jataha. You may not have a visarga, but put a visarga there and comma, Jataha. Evam tu Bhakti Tarala Viralaha, put a F, Viralah Paratman. Pashyanna Vandata Bhavat Vihrutisthalani Pam Susvaveshtata Bhavat Charanankiteshu Kim Brumahe Bahujana hi Tadapi Jataha. Evam tu bhakti tarala viralah paratman.
पश्यन्न वन्दत भवद्विहृतिस्थलानि पांसुष्वेष्टत भवश्चरणाङ्कितेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरला विरलाः परात्मन् पश्यन्न वन्दत भवद्विहृतिस्थलानि पांसुष्वेष्टत भवश्चरणाङ्कितेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरला विरलाः परात्मन्.
पश्यन्न वन्दद भवद्विहृदि स्थलानि भांसुष्वेष्टत भवच्चरणाङ्गिदेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरला विरलाः परात्मन्. पश्यन्न वन्दद भवद्विहृदि स्थलानि भांसुष्वेष्टत भवच्चरणाङ्गिदेषु किं ब्रूमहे बहुजना हि तदापि जाताः एवं तु भक्तितरला विरलाः परात्मन्.
Start in second line, first word, palms, pa sound. Ninga ban mari, I'm hearing it. It's pa.
Okay.
Pa. Stanza 7. Sahyam sagopa bhavanani bhavacharitra gheetamritat prasuta karna rasayanani pashyan pramoda sariteva kilohyamano gachan bhavat bhavana sannidhiman vayasit. So Akrura reaches Vrindavanam around the evening time, around dusk time, Sayam, right in the transition time he's reaching. So we've also seen, right, anytime you go to any religious place, so even when you go to, Vrindavan, if you go there, even today, right, up to the point you enter Vrindavan, you'll be seeing the regular, the Delhi highway and all ads and everything. The moment you enter Vrindavan, then everywhere on the walls, I'm talking about even now, everywhere on the walls, you'll see pictures of Krishna. Anywhere you walk, people will be like Radhe, Radhe. They actually worship Radha more than Krishna because Radha is from this part of their family, right? So they keep saying Radhe, Radhe. Everybody will be having Radhe, Radhe on their forehead, that the yellow color. And even when you go to Guruvayur or you go to Tirupati also, right? The moment you enter that place, the vibe changes. Right, Yesudas' songs are running in Guruvayur, or some Govinda, Govinda will be hearing in Tirupati all the time. So similarly, when Akrura enters Vrindavan, he just sees connections to Krishna everywhere. That's what he's seeing. Suddenly the vibe changes for Akrura because everybody who he meets is talking something about Krishna. The Gopikas in the evening, they're also talking about all the activities of Krishna. So everywhere he sees, there's something related to Krishna, which is beginning to see as he enters into Vrindavan right now. So Sayam sa Gopa Bhavanani Bhavat Charitra, put a plus. Geetamrita Prasrita Karna Rasayanani, short E at the end. Pashyan Pramoda Sariteva Kilohyamano, comma, Gachan Bhavat Bhavana Sannidhim Anvayasit. You can break it with ma if you want. Sannidhim Anvayasit. Sayam Sagopa Bhavanani Bhavacharitra Geetamrita Prasrita Karna Rasayanani Pashyan Pramoda Sariteva Kilohyamano Gachan Bhavat Bhavana Sannidhiman Vayasit.
सायं स गोपभवनानि भवश्चरित्रगीतामृतप्रसृतकर्णरसायनानि पश्यन् प्रमोदसरिदेव किलोह्यमानो गच्छन् भवद्भवनसन्निधिमन्वयासीत् सायं स गोपभवनानि भवश्चरित्रगीतामृतप्रसृतकर्णरसायनानि पश्यन् प्रमोदसरिदेव किलोह्यमानो गच्छन् भवद्भवनसन्निधिमन्वयासीत्
सायं सकोपभवनानि भवच्चरित्रगीतामृतप्रसृतकर्णरसायनानि पश्यन् प्रमोदसरिदेवे किलोह्यमानो गच्छन् भवद्भवनसन्निधिम् अन्यवासीत्
Anvayasit, last word.
अन्वयासीत् सायं शकोपभवनानि भवच्चरित्रगीतामृतप्रसृतकर्णरसायनानि पश्यन् प्रमोदसरिदेवे किलोह्यमानो गच्छन् भवद्भवनसन्निधिम् अन्वयासीत्
8 and 9, I'll say meaning together. Tavat
Rajesh,
Dadarsha.
sorry to bother you. And
Okay.
third line, Pashyan Pramoda Sari Deve or Deva.
Deva. I think when
Okay.
Shanti was saying slightly or A sound mari vandhudu, it sounded, but it's
இல்ல என்
Deva.
புக்ல அப்படிதான் இருக்கு தேவே
அப்படியா?
தான்
தேவே தான் இருக்கு.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just maybe stretching it a little bit. Sariteva, not Teve. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking. Tavat Dadarsha Pashu Doha Viloka Lolam, comma, Bhaktotam Agatim Iva, Bhaktotam Agatim Iva, Prati Palayantam, Bhuman. Next word, I'm going to break it into 4 if you want to. Bhavantam Ayam Agrajavantam Antaha. So Bhavantam Ayam Agrajavantam Antaha. Put a visarga and comma there. Next line, in terms of on top of Brahmanu, there is a ir that goes away. Brahmanu Bhuti Rasa Sindhum Ivodvamantam. That's one word, Ivodvamantam. Tavad Dadarsha Pashudoha Vilokalolam Bhaktotamagatimeva Pratipalayantam Bhuman Bhavantamayamagrajavantamantaha Brahmanubhuti Rasa Sindhumivodvamantam.
तावद्ददर्श पशुदोह विलोकलोलं भक्तोत्तमागतिमिव प्रतिपालयन्तं भूमन् भवन्तमयमग्रजवन्तमन्तः ब्रह्मानुभूतिरससिन्धुमिवोद्वमन्तम् तावद्ददर्श पशुदोह विलोकलोलं भक्तोत्तमागतिमिव प्रतिपालयन्तम् भूमन् भवन्तमयमग्रजवन्तमन्तः ब्रह्मानुभूतिरससिन्धुमिवोद्वमन्तम्
दावत्तदर्श वसुदोगविलोकलोलं भक्तोत्तमागतिमिव प्रतिपालयन्तम् भूमन् भवन्तम् अयम् अग्रजवन्दमन्दः ब्रह्मानुभूतिरससिन्धुमिवोद्वमन्तम् तावत्तदर्श वसुदोगविलोकलोलं भक्तोत्तमागतिमिव प्रतिपालयन्तम् भुवन् भवन्तम् अग्रजवन्दमन्दः ब्रह्मानुभूतिरससिन्धुमिवोत्पमन्दम्.
Shanti, in the first line, Pashu, Sha sound, okay? Pashu Doha.
Okay.
Stanza 9. सायन्तनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ द्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नातिप्रपञ्चधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितार्द्रवदनौ च युवां ददर्श. So as Akrura now finally approaches Nandagopal's residence, there he sees, Krishna and Balarama. It's the evening time. That's the evening also they go to milk the cows, supposedly. I don't know that because I've not lived in a village like that. But they were milking the cows. So there he saw when he went there, it looked as if Krishna and Balarama were waiting for Akrura to come. It actually, for him, it felt like, although they didn't know he was coming, but somehow when he approached that place, it looked as if Krishna was like waiting for Akrura to come. And when Akrura first time when he sees Krishna there, he feels like all the bliss that it says here, the entire experience here, antar brahmanubhuti rasa. So whatever feelings or devotion he had, bhakti he had in him, it was as if it was expressed in that form of Krishna standing there waiting for Akrura, right? So Akrura now begins to see Krishna and Balarama, and they are young boys, right? They're 10 years old, 10 years and 11 months actually, to be explicit. So he sees these two boys are standing there, the evening time. So they were all like, dressed well. Krishna was wearing Pita, he was wearing yellow color. Balarama was wearing blue color. And, they were looking very fresh. And, they all were, one of them was, dark in color. One of them was actually very fair in color. And, they were all ready there and they had a very soft smile. That's the vision. That's what Akrura is seeing as he enters into Nandagopal's compound. So, Sayanta Naplava Vishesha Vivikta Gatrau, Dvau Pita Neela Ruchirambara Lobhaniyau Nati Prapancha Dhrita Bhushana Charu Veshau, Manda Smitardra Vadanau Sa Yuvam Dadarsha. सायन्तनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ द्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नातिप्रपञ्चधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितार्द्रवदनौ स युवां ददर्श.
सायन्तनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ द्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नातिप्रपञ्चधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितार्द्रवदनौ स युवां ददर्श. सायन्तनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ द्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नातिप्रपञ्चधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितार्द्रवदनौ स युवां ददर्श.
सायन्दनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ त्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नादिप्रभञ्जधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितात्र वदनौ च युवां ददर्श.
Last line, Sa Yuvam Dadarsha.
स युवां ददर्श. Okay. सायन्दनाप्लवविशेषविविक्तगात्रौ त्वौ पीतनीलरुचिराम्बरलोभनीयौ नादिप्रभञ्जधृतभूषणचारुवेशौ मन्दस्मितार्द्रवदनौ च युवां ददर्श.
Okay, we'll just switch halfway. Lata, you can be student. Ram can be student. Stanza 10. दूराद्रतात् समवरुह्य नमन्तमेनम् उत्थाप्य भक्तकुलमौलिमतोपगूहन् हर्षान्विताक्षरगिरा कुशलानुयोगी पाणिं प्रगृह्य सबलोत गृहं निनेथ. So just like how he had planned, like we saw, Uddhava had already planned how he wants to meet them. So when he goes there, when he sees Krishna and Balarama, he gets down from his chariot and he does a full namaskaram to Krishna and Balarama, right? He's his uncle, right? So he still does a full namaskaram to Krishna and Balarama there. And then his tears coming out of his eyes. And just like how he expected, Krishna then comes, Krishna then makes him, get up and Krishna embraces him. And suddenly then Akrura is feeling everything and thinking is coming true. This is what he expected or he wished happened, and all the things that he's wishing is actually happening. And Krishna then embraces him. Balarama then holds him by his hand, Panim Pragrihya, and then takes him inside to the house. Duradrathat Samavaruhya Namantamenam. Put a im at the end of that line, comma, Namantamenam. Next line, the Muthapya becomes Uthapya. Uttapya Bhakta Kula Maulim Athopaguhan Harshan Mitakshara Gira Kushalanu Yogi, long e, comma, Panim Pragrihya Sabalota Griham Nineta. Kushalanu Yogi, they are inquiring how is he feeling, because he's just come, right? Duradratat Samavaruhya Namantamenam Uthapya Bhakta Kulamaulimatopaguhan Harshanmitakshara Gira Kushalanu Yogi Panim Pragrihya Sabalota Griham Ninetha.
It is Ninetha or Nineya, Rajesh? Last word.
Ninetha, second tha.
Oh, yeah,
Ninetha.
yeah. Okay. Duradritat samavahruhya namantamenam uttapya bhakta kulamaulimatopaguhan harshanmitaksharagira kushalanu panim pragrihya sabalota griham nineta. Duradritat samavahruhya namantamenam Uttapya Bhakta Kulamaulimatopaguhan Harshanmitaksharagira Kushalanu Yogi Panim Pragrihya Sabalota Griham Nineta.
Duradrathat Samavaruhya Namantamenam Uttapya Bhakta Kulamaulimatopaguhan Harshanmitaksharagira Kushalanu Yogi Panim Pragrihya Sabalota Griham Ninetha. Duradrathat Samavaruhya Namantamenam Uttapya Bhakta Kulamaulimatopaguhan Harshanmitaksharagira Kushalanu Yogi Panim Pragrihya Sabalotha Griham Ninetha.
That's 11. Nandena sakamamithadaramarchayitva tam yadavam taduditam nishamayya vartam gopeshu bhupati nideshakatam nivedya nana katha birihatena nishamanaishihim. So when Akrura and he sits and Nandagopa and all comes, they offer him food and everything. And Nandagopa inquires with Akrura saying, how are things? Because he's suddenly shown up, right? So he's curious what has happened. So he says, how is everything going? Is everybody okay with Kamsa? How is Vasudeva doing? How is Devaki doing? How is everyone? How's Kamsa treating everybody? So Akrura then, he generally gives a positive answer saying, but he also says, with Kamsa, it's very tough, right? Because nothing to hide there. And then Akrura then tells Nandagopa that, listen, Kamsa is having this big bow festival. He wants all of you to come, and he wants you to all come with appropriate gifts and taxes and all of that stuff. So he tells that to Nandagopa. Then separately to Krishna, Akrura goes and tells Krishna and Balarama, look, Kamsa knows who you are right now. He knows you are born to Vasudeva and Devaki. He knows that, you all are now hiding here under Nandagopa. So he has told you to come there because he actually wants to get rid of you. So he kind of, tells the whole thing to Krishna. And, so Krishna and Akrura spend the night, Nisham and Aishihi, they spend the evening or night once everybody's gone to sleep, talking about these things as to what is actually happening there, what is Kamsa planning. So whatever Akrura knows about Chanura Mushtika, the Kuvalaya Pida, whatever he knows, he's telling all of that information to Krishna and Balarama. Nandena Sakam Amithadaram, if you want to break it, Sakam Amithadaram Archayitva, comma, Tam Yadavam Taduditam Nishamayya Vartham Gopeshu Bhupati Nidesha Katam Nivedya, comma, Nana Kathabhiriha Tena Nishamanaishihi. Nandena Sakamamithadaramarchayitva तं यादवं तदुदितां निशमय्य वार्तां गोपेषु भूपतिनिदेशकथां निवेद्य नानाकथाभिरिहतेन निशामनैषीः
नन्देन साकममितादरमर्चयित्वा तं यादवं तदुदितान् निशमय्य वार्तां गोपेषु भूपतिनिदेशकथां निवेद्य नानाकथाभिरिहतेन निशामनैषीः नन्देन साकममितादरमर्चयित्वा तं यादवं तदुदितां निशमय्य वार्तां गोपेषु भूपतिनिदेशकथां निवेद्य नानाकथाभिरिहतेन निशामनैषीः
नन्देन साकममितादरमर्चयित्वा तं यादवं तदुदितां निशमय्य वार्तां गोपेषु भूपतिनिदेशकथां निवेद्य नानाकथाभिरिहतेन निशामनैषीः नन्देन साकममितादरमर्चयित्वा तं यादवं तदुदितां निशमय्य वार्तां गोपेषु भूपतिनिदेशकथां निवेद्य नानाकथाभिरिहतेन निशामनैषीः
Stanza 12. चन्द्रागृहे किमुत चन्द्रभगागृहेनु राधागृहेनु भवने किमु मैत्रविन्दे धूर्तो विलम्बत इति प्रमदाभिरुच्चैः आशङ्कितो निशिमरुत्पुरनाथपायाः. So now is where the story will start taking a very sad turn, right? So, Nanda then goes and tells all the people, saying that, we are all leaving tomorrow morning. Like I said, he's coming on Dwadashi day, Trayodashi day morning, they're all leaving to Mathura. So overnight, Nanda tells everybody, all of you pack all these things, we're leaving tomorrow morning. So that conversation is going on. Now, Akrura's visit was a surprise for everybody, right? So the Gopikas, nobody expected Akrura to come. And suddenly he's coming in the evening and saying, tomorrow morning we are all leaving, right? And Krishna and Balarama are coming with us. So when that happens, suddenly everybody is feeling a sense of something is not going to be right, right? They get that sense of that feeling is beginning to come. So that night, right, Krishna is suddenly missing because he doesn't want to go and meet with anybody actually that day, right? And so at that time the Gopikas are all wondering, where is Krishna? All of a sudden we are hearing Krishna is going to be gone tomorrow morning, but we are not able to find Krishna anywhere. So they are asking, Chandra Grihe, is it in Chandra's house? Kimuta Chandra Bhaga, is in Chandra Bhaga's house, or is in Radha Grihe, is it in Radha's house, or Maitra Vinde, is in Maitra Vinda's house, so like Mitra Vinda's house. So they're kind of going and asking whose house is Krishna, because suddenly he's missing, right? So he's going to be leaving tomorrow morning is what we are hearing, but suddenly we can't find any Krishna anywhere in Vrindavan that day. He's suddenly gone missing. So with that, they all start wondering what is happening, here. Everybody's beginning to get concerned. So with that, this Dashakam comes to an end. Bhartri Parches, O Marut Puranatha, Lord of Guru Ayur, please eradicate all my ailments. Chandra Grihe Kimuta Chandra Bhaga Grihenu, Radha Grihenu Bhavane Kimu Maitravinde Dhurto Vilambata iti Pramadhabhiruchaihi, put a visarga there, Pramadhabhiruchaihi, next line, the Rashankito becomes Ashankito. Ashankito Nishi Marut Puranatha Payaha. Chandra Grihe Kimuta Chandra Bhaga Grihenu Radha Grihenu Bhavane Kimu Maitra Vinde Dhurto Vilambatayite Pramadhabhiruchaihi Ashankito Nishimarut Puranatha Payaha.
चन्द्रागृहे किमुत चन्द्रभगागृहेनु राधागृहेनु भवने किमु मैत्रविन्दे धूर्तो विलम्बत इति प्रमदाभिरुच्चैः आशङ्कितो निशिमरुत्पुरनाथपायाः चन्द्रागृहे किमुत चन्द्रभगागृहेनु राधागृहेनु भवने किमु मैत्रविन्दे धूर्तो विलम्बत इति प्रमदाभिरुच्चैः आशङ्कितो निशिमरुत्पुरनाथपायाः
चन्द्रागृहे किमुत चन्द्रभगागृहेनु राधागृहेनु भवने किमु मैत्रविन्दे धूर्तो विलम्बत इति प्रमदाभिरुच्चैः आशङ्कितो निशिमरुत्पुरनाथ मायाः
Paya, paya, last line.
हायाः चन्द्रागृहे किमुत चन्द्रभगागृहेनु राधागृहेनु भवने किमु मैत्रविन्दे धूर्तो विलम्बत इति प्रमदाभिरुच्चैः आशङ्कितो निशिमरुत्पुरनाथपायाः
Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Complete 72. So 73 is Bhagavato Mathura Prasthana Varnanam. So Lord is now getting, Krishna is getting ready to leave for Mathura, and we'll see what happens on the way also there. Stanza 1. Nishamayya Tavat. 1 and 2 I'll say the meaning together. So Nishamayya Tavatha Jnana Vartham, comma, Brishamarthaha, is that put a F, Brishamartha, Pashupala Balikastaha, Kimidam, Katanvitimaha. So that word, it's like, for those who are following Sanskrit, it's invitimaha is coming, right? So you cannot say that word to separately, so you have to say it along with the previous word. So it becomes katam becomes katan. Okay, so it will then flow together. So katanvitimaha, it's like a double N, think of it that way. Katanvitimaha, comma, samavetaha, put a F, samaveta, pari devi tanya kurvan. Nishamayya tavathayana brishamartah pashupala bhalikastah kimidam katanvitimaha samavetah paridevitanya kurvan.
निशमय्यतवातयानवार्तां वृषमार्ताः पशुपालबालिकास्ताः किमिदं कथन्वितिमाः समवेताः परिदेवितान्यकुर्वन् निशमय्यतवातयानवार्तां वृषमार्ताः पशुपालबालिकास्ताः किमिदं कथन्वितिमाः समवेताः परिदेवितान्यकुर्वन्
निशमय्यतवाथयानवार्तां वृषमार्ताः पशुपालबालिकास्ताः किमिदं कथं विधिं
And the instead of saying katam, right, it becomes katan. Okay, so katanvitimaha, Kathann. Howdy,
okay.
katanvitimaha.
किमिदं कथन्वितीमाः समवेताः परिदेवितान्यकुर्वन् निशमय्यतवाथयानवार्तां वृषमार्ताः पशुपालबालिकास्ताः किमिदं कथन्वितीमाः समवेताः परिदेवितान्यकुर्वन्
That's a two. Karuna nidhireshanandasunuhu katamasman visrujedananyanathah batanah kimudaivamevam asite iti tastvad vilepuhu. So when the gopis come to know, like we spoke about the night, that Krishna is going to be leaving in the next morning. So they have never been separated from Krishna, right? So they become very sad because they feel that something bad is going to be happening, right? And so they say, Kimidam, what is happening here? Why is this happening to us? They begin to wonder what suddenly transpired, that suddenly some person is coming, Akrura is coming, and then he's saying Krishna has to go the next day. They say something is very fishy here, right? They start feeling that something is not right, that something that they are not aware of that is actually happening. And even on a normal day, when Krishna and Balarama used to go to the forest, the gopis used to miss him. They used to, like we saw earlier, they used to keep seeing till they can no longer see him. Then they used to hear the Venu Ganam. So now, when they are now thinking that Krishna is going to be gone, and they don't know how long he's going to be gone, they suddenly start saying, but absolutely they're worried about how things are going to be when Krishna is gone. So they start then blaming God, of course, right? That's the first thing we always do. They say, Why? What have we done? Why are you, imposing this on us? Saying, we know you cannot live without Krishna having been around us. We cannot now separate him from us. Why are you doing this to us? What have we done that you're separating Krishna from us? So with this, they all start lamenting, right, as to why this is happening and what's going to happen in the future. Karuna nidhiresha nandasunuhu, comma, Khatamasman Visrujet Ananya, if you want to break it, Visrujet Ananya Nathaha. Bata Naha, put a ih, Bata Nah, Kimu, Daivam Evam Asit. Daivam Evam Asit. So the D that is there, we first put a it there. Daivam Evam Asit, comma. Next line becomes a iti. So iti tas tvat gata manasa vilepuhu. करुणानिधिरेशनन्दसूनुः कथमस्मान् विसृजेदनन्यनाथाः पतनः किमु दैवमेवमासीत् इति तास्त्वद्गतमानसा विलेपुः.
करुणा निधिरेश नन्दसूनुः कथमस्मान् विसृजेदनन्यनाथाः बतनः किमु दैवमेवमासीद् इति तास्त्वद्गतमानसा विलेपुः. करुणा निधिरेश नन्दसूनुः कथमस्मान् विसृजेदनन्यनाथाः बतनः किमु दैवमेवमासीद् इति तास्त्वद्गतमानसा विलेपुः.
करुणानिधिरेशनन्दसूनुः कथमस्मान् विसृजेदनन्यनाथाः बतनः किमु दैवमेवमासीत् इति तास्त्वद्गतमानसा विलेपुः. करुणानिधिरेशनन्दसूनुः कथमस्मान् विसृजेदनन्यनाथाः बतनः किमु दैवमेवमासीत् इति तास्त्वद्गतमानसा विलेपुः.
3 and 4, I'll say the meaning together. Charama prahare pratishtha manaha, comma, saha pitra nija mitra mandalaischa paritapa bharam nitambininam, comma, shamayishyan vyamuchaha, put a is, vyamuchas sakhayam ekam. Charama prahare pratishthamanah सह पित्रा निजमित्र मंडलैश्च परितापबरं नितंबिनीनां शमयिष्यन् व्यमुचः सखायमेकम्.
चरम प्रहरे प्रतिष्ठमानः सह पित्रा निजमित्र मंडलैश्च परितापबरं नितंबिनीनां शमयिष्यन् व्यमुचः सखायमेकम्. चरम प्रहरे प्रतिष्ठमानः सह पित्रा निजमित्र मंडलैश्च परितापबरं नितंबिनीनां शमयिष्यन् व्यमुचः सखायमेकम्.
चरमप्रहरे प्रतिष्ठमानः सह पित्रा निजमित्रमण्डलैश्च परितापभरं नितम्बिनीनां शमयिष्यन् व्यमुचः सखायमेकम्. चरमप्रहरे प्रतिष्ठमानः सह पित्रा निजमित्रमण्डलैश्च परितापभरं नितम्बिनीनां शमयिष्यन् व्यमुचः सखायमेकम्.
Stanza 4. अचिरादुपयामि सन्निधिं वो भविता साधु मयैव सङ्गमश्रीः अमृताम्बुनिधौ निमज्जयिष्ये द्रुतमित्याश्वसिता बधूरकार्षीः. So the gopikas are sitting and thinking that the next morning when that happens, right now this is in the last phase of the night, the last 3 hours of the night, which means really early morning. So the gopikas are still awake and they're thinking, what, this somehow, like I said, right, they feel that, okay, once Krishna goes to Mathura, because Vrindavan is a very small village, right, there's just the cowherds there. Now he's going to Mathura, which is supposed to be a big city. So they're worrying that, once Krishna goes to the big city, then, he's going to change, right? Even if he's there, because they don't know how long he's going to be there, right? So they're worried that, once he goes there, he sees all the people there, he sees all the things which are there, his mind is going to change. And once his mind changes, then he's going to wonder, why am I going to come back to Vrindavan anymore, right? Suddenly he's going to get carried away with everything that he sees in Mathura. So, so although he's very nice, he's very obedient to his parents and everything, he can be very easily, he's a young age, right? 10 years. So he might get carried away by everybody and everything that he sees there to really start wondering, what Krishna will do. At that time, Krishna also doesn't go meet the Gopikas. He sends a messenger to them. He sends a messenger to them, and he tells and through that messenger, that's why it says Sakhayam Ekam. He's sending one of his friend to them, to the Gopikas, that early in the morning. And he sends a message saying, don't worry, I shall come back very soon. And like he always gives a message to them is, you don't have to, I don't have to be present in person for you to be constantly thinking about me. Always have me in your mind, keep thinking about me, and I'll always be there with you. So he doesn't say anything else. He'll say, you will have, no, I'll come back. He doesn't say when, right? And then he says, eventually I'll come back and then you will all be happy again, but don't worry about it, don't think about it. That's a message he sends through a messenger. Achirat upayami sannidhimbo, bhavita sadhu mayeva sangamashrihi amritambunidhau nimajjayishye. So it's a ij and a ja. Nimajjayishye, drutam ityashwasita. That's one word. Drutam ityashwasita vadura karshihi. Achiradupayami sannidhimbo bhavita sadhu maheva sangamashrihi amritambunidhau nimajjayishye drutamityashwasita vadhura karshihi.
Achiradupayami sannidhimbo bhavita sadhu mayeva sangramashrihi amritambunidau nimajjayishye drutamityashvasita vadurakarshihi. Achiradupayami sannidhimbo bhavita sadhu mayeva sangramashrihi amritambunidau nimajjayishye drutamityashvasita vadurakarshihi.
Achirat upayami sannidhim vo bhavita sadhumayaiva sangamashrihi amritambunidhau nimajjayishye drutamityashvasita vadhurakarshihi. Achirat upayami sannidhim vo bhavita sadhumayaiva sangamashrihi amritambunidhau nimajjayishye drutamityashvasita vadhurakarshihi.
Sounds fine. Savishadabaram sayanchnamuchaihi atiduram vanitabhirikshyamanah mridutaddishi patayenna panghan sabalo krura ratena nirgatho bhuh. So now it's the next day morning. Everybody's assembled there outside Nandagopa's house, because they knew Krishna is now going to be leaving. So Krishna is now, when he's about to leave, he gets on to the chariot. So the Gopikas are thinking, how hard-hearted is this Krishna? He's already mounting the chariot. He never came and said bye to us in person. And all the other folks are now helping him get onto the chariot, right? So they're saying they are making things even worse. They're saying all these elders and everybody who's there, they're not even stopping Krishna. He's 10 years old. He's going to be going to Mathura. He's going to be leaving us all. Nobody seems to be stopping Krishna. How is it that we are the only ones who feel so bad that Krishna is leaving? Right? Because all the others are helping load the bullock carts and everything, right? So they all start, wondering about it, saying, this it's like, fate is working against us today, right? Krishna is not talking to us, nobody else is stopping Krishna from going. We are the only ones who seem to be worried about this all the time. So they say, what do we do, right? Now everybody is there outside Nandagopa's house. So these Gopikas decide that there's no use feeling ashamed at this point. They're all women, right? So they say, no use feeling ashamed at this point. We just have to outright go and just express our feelings, right? So they all go towards Krishna and then they say, oh Krishna, oh Govinda, don't go, right? Why are you going? And they all start crying towards Krishna, saying, why are you leaving us and going, right? Why do you have to go there? Why doesn't Nandagopa just go along with all his people and then pay the taxes and pay all that and come? Krishna and Balarama don't have to go. And they start, crying there, but absolutely no reaction from anybody, right? Akrura starts driving the chariot. Krishna somewhat, he doesn't open his mouth. It says with his glance, he just looks at them, and he tries to pacify them, saying, "Don't worry," but he doesn't say anything, right? And the chariot then starts moving. So they're then waiting, hoping that at some point, Krishna would say something or somebody is going to do something, and then the chariot is going to turn back, but it doesn't happen. The chariot just keeps going, and it says very beautifully that while the chariot keeps going, and some men accompany the chariot, up to a particular point, right? Maybe towards the end of the village or something. Some men are going, the gopikas are not. They say only their hearts and minds are going with Krishna, because they now somehow have a bad feeling that Krishna is not going to come back here again, right? Because sometimes, they say that you have this bad feeling or something is going to happen, and that's what the gopikas feel. They say this is not going to be like a 2-day visit that Krishna is going to be doing. Somehow they feel he's not going to come back ever to Vrindavan, because that's what is going to happen. Krishna never returns back to Vrindavan after this, right? They only meet one time in the Samanta Panchaka, which we'll see when the solar eclipse comes, which is much later, right? And Mahabharata, at that time, they'll see. After that, he never comes back. None of these gopikas see Krishna also. So they somehow have that feeling in their stomach that, this is the last time we are going to be seeing Krishna. But the chariot keeps going, and then finally it just gets, leaves that place, right, where they are. So Savishadhabaram Sayachnya. So that particular word, there's a ich and a nya. Okay. So Sayachnya Muchaihi, comma, Atidhuram Vanita Mridu Taddishi Patayanna Pangan, comma, Sabalo Akrura, but it'll come together. Sabalo Krura Ratena Nirgato Bhuhu. Savishadabaram Sayachyamuchaihi Atidhuram Vanitaabhirikshyamanaha Mridutaddishi Patayenna Pangan Sabalo Krura Ratena Nirgato Bhuhu.
सविषादभरं सयाच्यमुच्चैः अतिदूरं वनिताभिरीक्ष्यमाणः मृदुतद्दिशि पातयन्न पाङ्गान् सबलो क्रूररथेन निर्गतो भूः सविषादभरं सयाच्यमुच्चैः अतिदूरं वनिताभिरीक्ष्यमाणः मृदुतद्दिशि पातयन्न पाङ्गान् सबलो क्रूररथेन निर्गतो भूः
सविषादभरं सयाच्ञमुच्चैः अतिदूरं वनिताभिरीक्ष्यमाणः मृदुतद्दिशि पातयन्नपाङ्गान् सबलो क्रूररथेन निर्गतो भूः सविषादभरं सयाच्ञमुच्चैः अतिदूरं वनिताभिरीक्ष्यमाणः मृदुतद्दिशि पातयन्नपाङ्गान् सबलो क्रूररथेन निर्गतो भूः.
We'll do one more and stop today. Anasa bahulena vallavanam manasa chanugatota vallabhanam vanamartamrigam vishanna vriksham samatito yamuna tati mayasi. So as everybody leaves, like we just spoke in the previous stanza also, right? As same thing, which is like, while the men are accompanying, some men are accompanying Krishna and Nandagopa up to the forest. Some others are joining with them and going to Mathura. But it says only the Gopikas' minds and hearts were just traveling, because they all stayed back, right? Nobody was going with them to Mathura. So only their minds and hearts went with Krishna everywhere. And as Krishna wasn't leaving Vrindavan and going through the forest, it says even the trees and the animals also, it says Vanam Artham Mrigam, even they also started feeling the pain, because they also had a bad feeling that Krishna is never going to come back. Of course, Krishna is always in Vrindavan, that's a different thing, but they didn't know that this Krishna in this 10-year-old boy is not going to ever come back again. So with that, they all start traveling, and finally they reach the banks of Yamuna. So we'll stop here today, because after that some things happen in the banks of Yamuna, which we'll see in the next class. So Anasa Bahulena Vallavanam, comma, Manasa Chanugatota Vallabhanam वनमार्तमृगं विषन्न वृक्षं कम समतीतो यमुना तटीमयासीः.
Rajesh, is it Vanamartha Mrigam Vishanna Vriksham or
वनमार्तमृगं.
Mrigam?
वनमार्तमृगं.
The next word is Vishanna or Ishanna?
B as in Victor.
Okay.
विषन्न
Okay.
वृक्षम्.
Okay.
अनसा बहुलेन वल्लभानां मनसा चानुगतोत वल्लभानां वनमार्तमृगं विषन्न वृक्षं समतीतो यमुना तटीमयासीः.
Anasa bahulena vallabhanam manasa chanugatoта vallabhanam vanamarta mrigam vishanna vriksham samatito yamunatatimayasihi. Anasa bahulena vallabhanam मनसा शानुगतोत वल्लभानां वनमार्त मृगं विषन्न वृक्षं समतीतो यमुनातटीमयासीः.
अनसा बहुलेन वल्लभानां मनसा चानुगतोऽथ वल्लभानां वनमार्तमृगं विषन्न वृक्षं समतीतो यमुनातटीमयासीः. अनसा बहुलेन वल्लभानां मनसा चानुगतोऽथ वल्लभानां वनमार्तमृगं विषन्न वृक्षं समतीतो यमुनातटीमयासीः.
श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः. And get here today. सान्ध्वानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदेभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everybody.
Thank you, Rajesh.
See you next
Thank you,
week.
Rajesh.
Bye.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye.